All right, this was the first. This is a combination of three separate days, but this first one is the first time I went lurking, and I was so fed up that I didn't know any pools, or no one was letting me know about any pools because I was just so out of the game scene or whatever. I didn't know anybody, and no one's just gonna send a pin to a random kid. So I was so mad. I was also having a bad day at the house, and I didn't want to go to a skate park. And I was like, ah, fuck, I don't want to be a creep and just go into people's yards and stuff. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I think I was listening to some Salva stories and other stuff, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go lurk. I didn't know it was called lurking, but I just went out and started peeking around, and I this one was really close to my house, so I pulled up and I seen it's a very weird setup, apartment kind of style living, or it was like a big property. I know it was apartment duplex complex style, and I saw some guy come out with this dog, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to him right now. So I asked him about the pool, and then he was saying basically he doesn't own the property. He just rents it, that the owners are there, and he's never really met them. He barely knows them, and I was just like, they're not dangerous, right? They're not sketchy. I just wanted any information. No, I'm not gonna get shot when I go on. And he was like, oh no, they're actually really nice, and they're really old too. So I was really happy. I was like, dude, I'm going for it. Like I said, I skated one pool before this, and it was this one that was really known in Hollywood, but it was like further, and it didn't have actual coping. It was like slate tile. I mean, I guess you can't be picky, but I wanted to skate one right by my house, and I wasn't driving, so I just went for this one. So I just, as soon as he went inside to his apartment, I just went for it, and I started looking at it. I started filming. I was like, yes. Heart was racing. It was the first time. It was amazing. I came in. I was like, at first, because this was the start of the summer and it was dry, I was like, oh man, this thing's dirty. Like it's gonna take time to clean it up. And now that I'm dealing with winter and rain and stuff, that's a real cleanup. And this is perfect. This is like fun. That's fun to clean that for me because it's just right there. Once I was in the pool, I felt safe, and that's when I really realized it because I had my phone out and I made it look like I was just taking videos, photography. I was just looking very neutral and chill and not so suspicious, I guess. I don't know. To me, just filming and taking pictures didn't look suspicious. I think I even told the guy I was just gonna take photos with my skateboard, like not even gonna skate it. All right, this was the first time I lurked with someone, and we went in the hills of Monterey Park, and we are going from Google Maps and just going to pools, and we were, dude, I was literally like jumping in backyards, and this is the first time I did it right here. This is like where I was just, the house was like not sure if anyone was home. Knocked on the door, no one answered, and I was also scared if there's a dog in the back. So you're gonna hear me whistle right now to try and see if there's a dog back there. And once I realized there's no dog, I just jumped the fence. It's a very nice neighborhood too, but it was up in the hills, so it's kind of far away from any cops or anything like that. So I felt somewhat safe, but definitely like I was gonna piss someone off if they caught me back there. It was a nice house. And we were on foot too, so we're just skating around. Looking for pools like this is like the best because there's also skating spots in between. The whole day was on foot, and we went far.
She don't have one
This is my friend Daniel, and we took the bus straight down the street, Atlantic, all the way to the almost in Alhambra to this other pool I've had on my phone for a while. And we pull up, and I like the name of the street because it's Weatherhead, but we were saying Wet Her Head. And we go into this next pool, and you're gonna see it come up right now. But we go to this house and knock on the door, and like sometimes when you knock on a door and it sounds hollow, like the door just feels like it echoes throughout the house, and you're like, oh, maybe it's empty. And that's a good sign too that I always forget about is the way the door sounds and the way if you could tell if it's empty, just by the way the sound like just echoes through the house. So we're knocking, no one answered, knocking, no one answered, and then there's a broke down car there, and I was just like, he was really sketched out. He didn't want to go in the back, and he just stood in the front. Well, I felt good for that, just in case anything happened, he'd be in the front. And I went back, and you can see me do it right there. Here, boom. I had a really good feeling about this one. Like, just when I was back there, did not feel like anyone was going to be home anytime soon. So I called my friend Daniel. I was like, dude, we're good. We're good. I was in there for like 5 minutes, and I convinced him. I had to convince him to go back there because he didn't want to at all. Dude, I'm telling you, when the neighborhood feels really suburban and maybe even a little quiet like this one did, it really puts you on edge. Just as much as the first pool I put in the video where you feel very vulnerable, like you stick out. Any noise you make is, being listened to. You recognize any skateboarder that goes off in a backyard that probably has never gone off in a backyard. You just feel you're breaking a lot of the normal rules and ways to function, the matrix of every day with this.
You got that one?
Mm-hmm.
Right here, we're trying to get the badge out, but it was a replacement badge that I found out. But even then, that thing was so hard to get out of it. And then right here, I was filming all the little traps and things I was setting up, moving stuff around to see if anyone actually lived there. And I left the fence open. I put those trash cans at the window, little random stuff around to see if anyone moved it, came home or something. And then next door, because this is like literally next door to the house, I checked, and this one was empty too. And it was a square, it's Anthony Square. This house looked abandoned as fuck too. So a lot happened in between here. We were skating down the street, and we saw this guy that lived right there, like a couple houses away, and he was skating. So he told him about the pool and brought him. We were tripping him out because he's lived there his whole life, and he never knew there's an empty pool there. Also, to just make it more crazy, like we ran into someone that we're close to on the way out. A good friend of mine, I didn't even know who lived right there, right around the corner from the pool. So it just made the day even cooler, even like more interesting. I got this interesting video of these ants and these egg and Cisco cans that we were drinking on the bus.
Showing their ass and tits and fucking beers and jokes, you know? Beers and jokes.
Yes, we busted back to the local skate park, and when we walked in, I realized there was a fucking mailbox at the skate park. All right, so after we go out to the street and we realize that they're working on the skate park street, the same street, and they took down the stop sign and they had it on the side because they were gonna redo the floor or something. And so we grabbed the stop sign and we fucking hid that shit because it's the street of the skate park, my local. And damn, that's kind of a burn right there, which skate park it is, but who cares? Yeah, we hit it, and I think it's still hidden all the way on the sides of the hills of this park. But yeah, it was just a cool little ending to the night.
Oh shit. I didn't see nothing.
Next day or the next day after that, I knew the egg pool was there. I at the time knew that my board had to be a little shorter to hit those shallows better. So I found this random guy that was able to like cut my nose, and now he's cool. Now he'll do any woodworking thing that I need. The same day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go lacquer up the pool coping at the egg so we can all grind it. You know, I that time I didn't really understand that getting dry grinds was way more satisfying. I mean, you look at all those little rocks, and then I rubricked it after, so the lacquer didn't do anything unless it actually has like a smooth thing. It actually made it probably more stickier. But this is when I didn't really know why I liked pool skating or what kind of pool skating I liked. Some people do like lacquer, you know, the Salba sauce it. Get some really good stand-up grinds on it, but I don't really care about that right now. Maybe I will in the future. I don't know, but for now, it's dry grinds. Dry coping is my favorite. That's how you spark. I'd rather spark than do a stand-up grind. And then that was a bust that day, so I went to go lurk some more pools. And I found some really interesting ones. This one was a super green day, as you can tell. A bunch of greenery all over the place. Now this pool in itself, this is the one of the first days I lurked it. I think I lurked it once before I actually like ever skated a pool. Anyway, this pool ended up becoming a whole story in itself because just I had so much I went through with actually trying to live with the house because I thought this piece of shit house was abandoned. And then I was gonna make this pool sick, and I was gonna skate it and do all this other stuff. And the homeowners caught us in the middle of all this, and then whatever, I'll still go back to try and pump the pool. I had power at one point going through all like 3 pumps. Didn't work. It was so much sludge because there was turtles living in the pool and all this trash hadn't been emptied in years. And I built a separate little pond for the turtles. They ended up getting killed in this crazy freak way. And just all a bunch of little things. And I had to pump it by myself, like by hand. A hand pump. It took me like 2 days of carrying a fucking gallon tank up and down this big ass hill. It was a lot. Like definitely by far the most I've ever had to work for a pool, and I never actually really got to skate it. I got to skate the shallow for a bit one time, but I never got to actually sesh it. All that work, yeah, for nothing by far. The most I ever did work for a pool, I never even got to skate it. So I'm gonna save it for another one because I think this pool might still be skated. I want to actually skate it at the deep end. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.